Okay, so does everybody know that movie Pacific Rim? It's a story about humanity's endless fight with Godzilla clones using these things. They're called jaegers. Jaegers are basically just giant robots that require two people to pilot them. Those two people have to be capable of using a kind of mind link with each other, but we're going to ignore that for now. A few weeks ago, a friend sent me a link to a Reddit post that might have proposed the most dangerous weapon in the Omniverse using jaegers. Basically as follows. So it takes two people to pilot one jaeger, which is about 41.6 times larger than the average person. But what if we took two jaegers and had them pilot an even bigger jaeger, 41.6 times larger than the average jaeger, and we just kept doing this until we ran out of people on Earth? The result is terrifying. You see, we're gonna have to do this about 32 times before we run out of people. And if these calculations are correct, the Infinity Jaeger is going to threaten pretty much every reality in existence because it ends up being 1.1 times 10 to the 52 meters tall. I know that just sounds like a lot of numbers, but for perspective's sake, if our entire universe were the size of an atom, the Infinity Jaeger would be 10 times larger than our sun. Obviously, it must be stopped. Now, if we just let physics do the work for us, we're in luck, because anything with that kind of mass and density will collapse under its own gravity and form a black hole. But the size of this particular black hole would be 3.49 times 10 to the 130th meters. That means it has a diameter of this many universes, and it's still going to kill us all. We need a better plan. And I really had to think about this. If we don't use omnipotent characters because, those guys are cheating anyway, there's pretty much nobody who can stop this atrocity. In Star Wars, everybody's dead. In Dragon Ball, yeah, they're all dead. Arceus created the Pokemon universe apparently, but the Infinity Jaeger doesn't care. That's like creating a subatomic particle as far as it's concerned. I thought, maybe if we gave Thanos the Infinity Gauntlet, he could do some damage. But that thing only controls one universe at a time, so I guess he's also screwed.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Eventually, I kind of narrowed my options down to Lucifer Morningstar or the Reality Bomb. And neither of those are preferable for the obvious reasons. This monstrosity, this horror machine that the internet has created, is basically going to cut an enormous gash through the Omniverse. If the Infinity Jaeger moves at speeds comparable to normal Jaegers from its own perspective, this monster's going to cross 3.9 times 10 to the 35th light years in under 3 seconds. This ignores relativity, but again, if it doesn't, that multiversal black hole is going to kill us all anyway, so whatever. Einstein is rolling in his grave right now. If this thing were to try and kick something, it would impact with the force of 6 times 10 to the 245th newtons. That's the equivalent of roughly 3 times 10 to the 176th universes exploding at once. Pepe, you've doomed us all. So it was around this time that I noticed I didn't really have an especially good way of destroying this mistake. I mean, I guess I could be a total wimp and start tapping into higher dimensions for my answer, but freaking Mix's Pitalik would probably just turn it into chocolate or something. Yeah, that would help. Teleporters proved to be useless because they would have to teleport across, thousands of universes to even get inside the first layer of the Jaeger. So I decided if the internet created this behemoth, the internet would be the one to put it down. But no one on my Facebook page gave any good answers, so I went back to Reddit. Alright, if anybody's watching this video and has found their universe under the threat of an Infinity Jaeger, here's what you need. First, you're going to have to get Superman. Yes, Superman specifically, and make sure it's the Earth Zero Superman for good measure. Now, I don't know how strong Superman is exactly, I'm still working on that one, but it's pretty clear to me that he can at the very least destroy planets. And lift them. He does it all the time. We also know that he can tap into even more strength the longer he's exposed to a yellow sun. And he can seemingly do this without any limit, seeing how future versions of him have apparently been powerful enough to stop universes from collapsing and to survive interdimensional space even Mix's Pitalik couldn't handle. Remember this guy? They call him Superman Prime 1 million, a product of Superman traveling to the outer rim of space and time and spending 1,500 years in the sun. Well, Reddit thinks we can do better. Take Superman to about 10 billion years before the Infinity Jaeger was constructed and set him inside a yellow sun. Now, fortunately for us, it takes suns about 10 billion years to go from yellow to red, so you shouldn't need to do any relocating if you pick the right star. How much power Superman gains from sitting in the sun has varied from writer to writer, but a good rule of thumb stands to be about 3 times stronger every 15 minutes. There are 5.256 times 10 to the 15th minutes in 10 billion years, so Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Superman Prime 10 billion. This is the Omniverse's salvation. He would be about 5.224 times 10 to the 167 trillionth times stronger than regular Superman. If we take those planet-busting feats from earlier, this means Superman can now destroy 9 times 10 to the 167 trillion universes with a single punch. That speed I calculated for the Flash over a year ago? Superman laughs at it, and the Flash craps his pants. Superman Prime 10 billion can juggle 7 times 10 to the 167 trillion Infinity Jaegers before he starts to struggle. He ends the fight in less than a second with his pinky finger. But the real question is, can he defeat Elder Bill Sailor Scout Galactus God Super Saiyan 1 million while he's in the Avatar state?